Now, do you want to see my biddies?
Hi, hello everyone. Hello. Sorry, it disconnected my mic, so I had to reset my mic real fast. Also, my thingy is weird. Hi, hello everyone. Hello, hello. Hello, Insanity. Hello, Monty. Hello, baby boy Sunny. Hello, Cuddle Sub. Hello, Sunga. Hello, Onyx, and thank you for the biddies, Onyx. You're stinky. And hi, Hokyo. I'm so sorry you're sick, my love. I hope you feel better soon. We'll be turning off the overlaid sounds and just focusing on what sounds we can do ourselves today. As you all know, I don't have I no longer have a 3DO, so it's just the best we can do. But I'm gonna do my best. Hi, Zenon. Hello, my love. Welcome in, welcome in. But I'm still gonna be playing web fishing while I do my sounds, so I will be doing my best. I hope you guys like it. Thank you, Zenon. I'm happy you think so. We are so back. Yeah, we are. It can be a bit hard to do the throat sounds, but I can still actually do them if you guys want. Your car is fixed? That's great, Zenon. I'm so happy. That's really important. Gotta be able to get to work and stuff. I'm gonna eat you. I know I said I was gonna eat you, but I'm actually smooching you. Oh. A daily smooch for Sunga. Come here, my love. A daily smooch for Zenon. Come here, my love. Oh, a deluxe smooch. I don't know if it'll be as good as when I had the 3DO, but I'll do my best. I'm sorry. It's probably not as good as when I had the 3DO. I'm so sorry, my love. The mic I was gonna buy, the company stopped doing it, like stopped selling things. So I was gonna go to Halo Mics, and they're based in Japan, and they live in Japan, but they are not Japanese. I don't think. I don't think they're from Japan, and they were working on a business visa, but their business visa expired or something like that. I don't really understand what happened. This is a lot of complicated political stuff. And they can't sell them anymore until they become a permanent resident. So they are suspending sales. And it sucks because I was getting a custom made one from them. I hadn't paid for it yet, thankfully, but they suspended sales. So the reason the donation thing is still there is because the SR3D is the same price. So I'm just going to get that one. But yeah, I was so sad because I was getting a red custom, like a glittery red one, like a glittery red binaural audio mic, and it was so cute, and I'm so upset. Hi, Maximus. Hello, my love. Welcome in, welcome in. It's good to see you. But yeah, I hope that they'll reopen sooner than 2 years from now. Because they were saying their immigration could take as long as 2028, and I was like, oh my god. But I really hope that I can work with them eventually. I like this guy's name. Yeah, Maximus is a cute username. But I hope that I can get it eventually. What if they gave you one person to person and not as a business? I think they might still get in trouble. I don't think they're allowed to do that because they have been running a business. So I think that they would get in trouble, and I don't think they'd be willing to do it. So unfortunately, I can't get it, and I'm very sad. Oh, I do have good news. I was able to pay my rent today. So I'm not at threat of eviction, thank God. I was able to pay my rent. So, that's good news. Also, hi, hello, Yoshi, it's good to see you. Also, I don't know what happened, but after I, cried and sobbed on the phone, and the lady said there's nothing she can do, and that it's not her problem, I got my food stamps anyway. I don't know if it's only for this month, though, or if they're permanently taking it, or what. Yeah, they said they were going to take my food stamps, and so, I was, crying and sobbing and begging them not to take it, and she's like, there's nothing I can do, and I was like, okay, guess I won't eat. And, I got my food stamps anyway, so I don't know what happened. I have no idea. I don't know. But I'm really happy. I was able to get myself a birthday dinner. Glad you got a house still? Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I do hope I get to keep them. That would be really bad. But, yeah, my birthday is in 2 days. You're a little early. My birthday's on the 17th. But, yeah, 2 days off. It's okay, my love. I appreciate your enthusiasm. You can't make me 2 days older, though. I refuse to be older. Hi there, TG. Hello, my love. But, yeah, I bought myself a birthday dinner. I've been eating. Oh my goodness, Maximus, thank you so much. Thank you for the 5 subs. That means so much to me. Thank you. Thank you, my love. I appreciate it. I'll count it towards the subathon on Saturday. Don't worry. I'll count it towards it. That way, it's not wasted. Don't worry. Because, it's the same. It's literally 2 days before it counts. It's fine. It's fine. It counts. But thank you so much, my love. But yeah, I bought myself a birthday dinner. I've been eating nothing but oatmeal. Because I got my food stamps really late, so I wasn't able to buy real food. So I've been eating nothing but lentils and oatmeal. So I got myself a birthday dinner from Costco. I got lobster. I got lobster mac and cheese as a birthday dinner. So I did splurge on myself and got myself lobster mac and cheese. It was only $15, but we cook it in the oven and it's already pre-made and it's really good. And I was like, will be my dinner for my birthday. So I'm having lobster mac and cheese, and I thought that was a nice birthday gift to myself. I usually go out to dinner on my birthday, but wasn't able to this year, and that's okay. That's okay. We're being very frugal. We're doing good. I'm just happy that I was able to pay rent and everything. I would make you a baked chicken on your birthday. I appreciate that. A baked chicken sounds so good. I'm just gonna fly you all out to my house. I'm gonna use all the money from the subathon. I'm not gonna do any of the goals I promised. I'm gonna fuck all of them off, and I'm gonna make you all come visit me. That'll work, right? You think I could do it? You think I could buy multiple plane tickets and make you all visit me? You think I could do it? I don't think the subathon money would cover even a quarter of that. I think I could maybe fly one person out to visit me with the subathon money. Oh my god. No, you know I'm not Zenon, you know me. A long time down the road, yeah. I would, but I don't have a license to drive, so I can't get to an airport. Pays for your Uber. Pays for your Uber. I'm supposed to be doing sounds, but I'm not doing it. I will make sure that won't happen. You're gonna make sure my subathon fails? Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying you're gonna make sure that no one visits me? Are you not gonna let anyone in my house? Are you the bouncer? Zenon standing at my door being like, no, sorry. No, sorry. No, sorry. Sorry, I don't pass the vibe check. Sorry. If you want to meet Alistair, you have to pass the vibe check. I'll pick everyone up because I got new subwoofers. Hell yeah. I'll type a Minecraft command to get to you. Hell yeah. /teleport. That'll work. That'll be the way. I don't see you on the list. Yeah. You gotta get approved to meet Alistair. I say as if I'm not just some stinky white girl on the internet. I don't think you want to meet me. I'm supposed to be doing sounds and I'm still talking. I'm so bad at this. That hype train is late. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Just ignore it. I don't know why it keeps doing that every time I get subs. I have my hype train limit like really high. I don't know why it does that. It's not that I'm not grateful for the hype train, by the way. It's not that I'm not grateful. It's that I don't know why Twitch does it. It's a very weird thing it does. I promise I'm not ungrateful. Actually, I think Sunny might have been here. I think Sunny might have been here first. I think Sunny is the first Yoshi, but he's Yoshinori. But I think he might have been here first. Like, you guys can do !follow age and know the real winner. I'm not sure. Keep running out of breath. Yeah, unfortunately, I think Sunny has been here longer. He's been here since I had my ASMR channel. That's how I met him. He was on my ASMR channel, but I moved here. Oh my goodness, Zenon, it's been almost 3 years. You've been here since I was a man. That's a really funny sentence out of context. Just, you've been here since I was a man. Pre-op. No, I'm kidding. I'm not a trans woman. Sadly, I did not get a boob job. These things are natural and huge. I wear baggy t-shirts to try to cover them because they're a little obnoxious. I think I found you on my birthday or close to it. I think it was. I think you literally came in and said it's my birthday, and I was like, happy birthday, welcome in. You made me the man I am today. You made me the woman I am today. My ear eating sounds are so much wetter than other people's. I hope that's not a problem. Mwah. 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 Yeah, it's really good when it happens, isn't it? Like, I actually really like ear licking IRL. Like, it's a thing I really like, but I don't expose anybody to my ears because my ears are super waxy. And I'm half a Viet, so I have the Asian dry ear wax, and it's gross as hell. So I don't, I don't let anybody lick my ears. I wish people would, though. I wish they weren't dirty. I need to like clean my ears out before sex and have someone lick my ears. That'd be great. I can't believe I've been here for a year and got to know someone as sweet and caring as you. I'm conscious. Oh, thank you. That means so much to me, baby boy. I'm so happy you've been here. I like the flavor of wax. Well, then come eat my ears. But I'm so happy you've been here, baby boy. And I'm so happy I can inspire you. That's all I really want. I want to be able to make the VTuber space something more welcoming and nice. And I want the VTubing space to be something lovely. I wish I was bigger so that I could bring people together more and hold events and stuff, but unfortunately I am small. But maybe someday. I had someone do that to me without expecting it at a bus station waiting for friends, and I didn't realize I enjoyed it. I don't know if it's a sexy thing, but it relaxes every nerve in my body, and I just kind of shut down in a good way. I personally find it very erotic. Like, I can listen to ear eating without it being erotic, but I personally find it very erotic. And I enjoy it a lot. So it's a thing for me that it's erotic. I don't think it is for everybody. I think some people just find it relaxing. And I think that's normal, but for me it's very erotic and I like it. But also I have an oral fixation. I really like kissing in general. I really like it when things are in my mouth. That's why I give the Glop Top 9000 so well. I just really like things in my mouth, so it's very easy for me to give like that kind of stuff. I just really like it. Thank you, Sunga. I appreciate that. I'm happy. That means a lot to me. I don't have to be anyone's number one or their Kamiyoshi or their biggest favorite, but just being someone you like and enjoy is enough for me. It makes me happy. I hope I can be good for everybody. That's all I want. Choo choo. You're the hype train conductor. Choo choo. Big hugs. Yes, big hugs. I kind of like the idea of Kamiyoshi, but I don't like putting friends over each other. I love everyone equally and just wish for them all to succeed. My Kamiyoshi is someone who inspires me the most as a VTuber because I don't really get into idol culture and I don't really idolize anybody. So for me, my Kamiyoshi is someone who has earned it by being someone that inspires me. My other Oshis are also people that inspire me because they do the things that I wish I could do. My Kamiyoshi is Strony Cuddles, the leader of Veeler. And my other Oshis are Ryu Guigui and Kumogoro. Or no, Kumogoro. What's her username? Isn't it Kumogoro? I think it's Kumogoro. I don't want to get her username wrong. I know her actual name is Kumogoro Cuddle, but I might be getting her username wrong. But those are my Oshis. I had other Oshis, but they sadly turned out to be bad people, and I learned the hard way that they weren't really good people. So, those are my Oshis: Strony Cuddles, Kumogoro, and Ryu Guigui. I also consider Kurame Kira to be a huge inspiration for me, but I wouldn't necessarily call her an Oshi. Not that she hasn't earned it or anything. It's just, she's a little antisocial, and I don't blame her because a lot of people are very stinky in the VTuber community and she wants nothing to do with that, and I get it. But it's hard for me to really look up to someone that's on the more antisocial side because I'm such an extrovert and I'm so social. But it doesn't mean that I like look down on her or anything like that. I think she has every right to be a bit antisocial. I think she has every right. People are really weird. And the VTubing community is really awful. So I really don't blame her. But she's still like a big inspiration for me. It's just hard for me to like look up to someone that's antisocial because my brain is like, I'm too social. But yeah, I love you too, Yoshi. I love all of you. I love all of you. I love you all very dearly. I mean, I remember all of your names, and I talk to you all as much as I can, so I hope you know I love you. Hi, Mini-Me. It's ASMR time. I'm doing ear eating sounds. Might not be your cup of tea, but welcome in, welcome in. It's good to see you, my love. We're doing ear eating sounds. They're kind of gross to most people. I love them. Like I said, I have a special place in my heart for them, but they're kind of weird. But hello, welcome in. Delicious. You taste great. Nothing wrong with it. Just think I felt like I came in a bad, awkward moment. No, not at all. I just won't be talking as much because it's not a talking stream. But I'm happy I have a special place in your heart, Sonny. Thank you, my love, my baby boy. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's not an awkward time or anything. I'm just not talking as much. How are you? I'm doing good. I'm having an alright day. I was able to pay my rent, so I'm pretty alright. It was a normal day, pretty balanced. I've been working on a character design for Jack, and I'm really excited to finish it. I'm really excited to work on it. How are you doing? Yeah, thank you. I'm happy. It's a really interesting design. It's Meat Kitty, and that's all I'm telling you about it, because it's a secret. It's a secret. Doing okay? That's good. I'm happy. Hold on, I have to get this shark. Meat Kitty? Yeah, that's the tagline of the character. I can't tell you anything else. It's a secret. But that's what the design is called. It's Meat Kitty. It's a secret. Hi there. Welcome in, welcome in. It's nice to meet you. Hello. How are you doing, my love? Welcome in. A good boy, Sonny. Such a good boy for Mommy. Such an incredibly good boy. Mommy is so proud of you. I know how hard you're trying, and you're doing such a good job. I know how hard everything is, but you keep trying, and that's what matters. You're an incredible baby boy, and I love you dearly. Such a good boy. Good boy, Sonny. Good boy. So much is happening. Well, yeah, I'm playing this game to keep me occupied, but chat's pretty normal. I'm just talking to you guys. Could be better. Hope your day's been good. I'm so sorry, my love. I hope that I can make you feel better too. I hope so. I know how much it's not fun when your day is kind of stinky, but I hope I can make you feel better. Thank you for being here. My day has been good. It's been fine. Of course, baby boy. Anything for you.
Welcome to the casting couch. Have a seat.
Ada. Hello there. Welcome in, welcome in. Okayity. It's so nice to meet you. My name is Alistair, and thank you so much for the follow. I hope you enjoy your stay on the casting couch. This kiss is for you. Mwah. Mwah. Thank you for deciding to stick around and follow. I'm happy. That makes me really happy to hear, Atomic. Thank you. I try to be as soothing as possible when I talk. I don't want to be loud or anything like that. I don't really like to do too much like talking ASMR because it's very girlfriend experience, and girlfriend experience can be really scary for me. Hi, my name is Alistair and I have commitment issues, but I try to do a nice soothing voice when I speak. But I want to try to focus on triggers because I just like doing them. I can't really do like good like brushing and things like that because my mic is a Yeti. I don't have a binaural mic, but someday we'll get one. Someday. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, Tomic. I appreciate it. A deluxe smooch for Black Map. Hello, my love. Welcome in, welcome in. My deluxe smooches aren't as good without the 3DO, with the binaural audio, but I hope you like it. Thank you. It's good to see you. Hello, my love. I wonder if I could still do heartbeats with this mic or not. I feel like I couldn't. Sleep well, Black Math. Have a good night. I hope you sleep well, darling. Good night. Thank you for being here. That's a shame. Heartbeats are my fave. I know, they're so good, but I don't know if I can do it with a Yeti. Like, it was really easy to do with the binaural mic, like a 3DO, but I don't know that I can do it with a Yeti. I can try. Hold on. Let's see. I've never put the Yeti to the test. Let's see if we can do it. Oops. Well, it seems to be caught on something. Oh well, I'll try to get it as close as possible. Can you hear it? I don't know if it's audible. I think it depends on the mode. Well, as far as I know, there's only really 2 modes to this mic, and I have it on the mode that it can do. But, hi, Pupcake. Hello, my love. Welcome in, welcome in. But yeah, I don't think it can do heartbeats. The Yeti is not a binaural mic. It doesn't have, like, audio modes, really. It depends entirely on the mic you have, and I just don't think it can do it. Because another thing I can't really do is, like, it doesn't really register, like, brushing sounds. I don't have any filters or anything on it, but it just doesn't register it. It's baby's first ASMR mic, and it's all I have while my 3DO is broken. So until I can buy a new one. Which, like, we are crowdfunding for, but obviously you guys don't have to donate. It can be pretty expensive, but even $1 helps. It's on my throne, but any donations towards it, I'll end up paying for it myself more than likely, but any donations towards it I'll use to help. Also, Ada, hello there. Welcome in, welcome in. Okay, it's so nice to meet you. My name is Alistair, and thank you so much for the follow. I hope you enjoy your stay on the casting couch. This kiss is for you. Welcome in. I'm happy you decided to stick around. Hopefully he'll be here whenever I get the new microphone eventually. Trying to get a job so I can pay for it myself, but job search has not been fun. Jobs are so hard to get right now. Apparently, we're just as bad as we were back in 2008, which I wasn't old enough to live through that, so... Like, I mean, I lived through it, but I was a child, so I didn't know that the economy was doing poorly. You don't really think about the economy when you're a child. But I'm an adult now, so I'm definitely thinking about the economy. I'm almost 30. Yeah, times are tough right now. Yeah. Honestly, that's kind of what made my day, like, half good, half bad. Like, the good part was that I was able to pay my rent, and that took a huge burden off my shoulders and made me feel better. But the bad thing was that I had 2 job interviews lined up, and both of them contacted me and canceled on me, saying that they already hired for the position. And I was just like, that could have been me. So, no, I still haven't had a single job interview since all of this. Like, I've started putting in job applications in November of last year, and I haven't had a single interview. I've put in well over 200 applications. It's been agony. It's been agony. The job market is rough right now. It's crazy. I've never had this much trouble. But I think it was just easier to work when I was younger. It's fine. I believe in myself. It'll go fine. But when I get a job, I'll be able to buy the mic. I'm so sad, though, about the mic company closing, so I'll have to buy a different mic. I'm going to get the SR3D. If you meet any ASMR creators that are brand new and they want to buy the 3DO, tell them not to. The 3DO is dog shit. It's like baby's first binaural mic, but it's really not good. I'm going to try to see if maybe I can find some more affordable binaural mics, because maybe there's something out there that's like right-left mic, but more affordable. Like maybe Tascam is more affordable. I'll look into it. Because maybe I can find one that's like within my budget and I can do binaural audio like before I get a good one. I just know the SR3D is what one of the people I really like uses, so I was looking into theirs, but a lot of people use the Halo mics and unfortunately they're not selling anymore. It's so sad. But yeah. That's my day, but I'm still having a good day, I think. Oh my god. Oh, I forgot to turn off that sound. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, my love, for donating to the thing. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, thank you. Every dollar counts and it means a lot to me. Thank you. I'm so sorry I did not turn off that sound for this. I did not know it made it sound. Oh, thank you so much, though. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, my love. ASMR is truly my passion. It's my favorite thing to do, so I want to be able to do good ASMR again. So it means a lot to me. Thank you. Welcome back, Pupcake. Hello, my love. Oh, congrats on the 3 stream streak. Heck yeah, that's great. I love it when you guys get streaks. I try so hard to get streaks, but I keep messing them up somehow. It's so upsetting. I just want a streak in Jack's chat. I had a streak in my friend Nessie's chat, but then she stopped streaming for a bit, so I don't know if it still counts. And I managed to get a streak in another friend's chat and my friend Itzy's chat, so. It still counts even if they don't stream for a while. Oh, that's great. I lost my streak in my friend Erp's chat, and I was like, God damn it. I'm a silent lurker. I don't really announce my streaks. Plus, watching the VODs helps too. Oh, I didn't know that. I need to watch more VODs. Speaking of, the VOD for this ASMR will be on YouTube after stream. Blech, afterwards. It'll be on unlisted. Boop's nose, Boop. Thank you. Boop's your nose. I don't know if you can even hear Boop's. The mic kind of cuts out sounds. Boop. I hope you can hear that. You heard? Oh, that's great. I'm happy. Boop heard. I'm happy. That makes me happy. I wonder if you guys would be able to hear another one of my favorite triggers. I haven't been able to do the ones I like because they're not really audible on this microphone. But maybe you guys will be able to hear it. Hold on. Oops, almost grabbed the dog clicker. Can you guys hear that? Comb? Yeah, kinda. It's a nice sound. Yeah, it's a face brush. It's one of my favorite triggers, but I'm not really able to hear it very well myself. Right now I'm kind of isolated to just doing mouth sounds. Would you guys like some Pop Rocks? Let's do Pop Rocks. Oh, come on. There we go. A daily smooch, of course. I'll do your daily smooch again after I do the Pop Rocks, because I feel like the Pop Rocks kind of ruined it. What is the daily word you looked up, or the word you looked up? Let me finish doing Pop Rocks and then I'll do the daily smooches again. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, triggers are not a bad thing for ASMR. Okay, Pop Rocks are done. A daily smooch for both men. And a daily smooch for Pop Cake. Let's do some kisses for fun. Another daily smooch for Baby Boy. This is your first ASMR experience? I can actually recommend way better ASMR than what I do. I'm very amateur at it. I'm a huge ASMR fan and I have been for years. So I just do it because I love it very much and it's very near and dear to me. But I'm kind of limited to only really being able to do mouth sounds right now. A lot of my other sounds don't sound very good. My ears feel blessed. I'm so happy, Lucid. Thank you, my love. Welcome in, welcome in. It's nice to meet you. You're so sweet. Welcome in. It's nice to meet you. I know I already said that, but I wanted to say it again. Sleep well, Pupcake, my love. I hope you have a good night. Sleep well, darling. Sleep well. Thank you for being here. Good night, my love. I run out of breath very easily. I'm so happy. Thank you, baby boy. Oh, ignore that. I don't have ads running. It's just, Mix It Up runs that by automatic. So anytime I'm supposed to have ads running, it'll run that. But don't worry, I have ads turned off. Something I'm really proud of that I can actually do is purring. I can't do it as well as another creator, but I can do it pretty well. Hold on. Basically until I run out of air. Yeah, I keep running out of air. Oh, you like it? I can do it more if you want. It kind of comes out bad sometimes. I don't know how people do it perfectly. I'm not very good at it. But I can do it sometimes if you like it.
You make bad financial decisions.
Thank you for gifting a sub. Thank you, my love. I'll make sure to count it towards the subathon. Don't worry, don't worry. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, my love. Mm. 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 Mwah. Showering you in kisses. I wish I could just kiss you all over, from your toes to the tip of your head. I think toes are cute. I just wanted to say that. Oh, I need to take a drink real fast. Well, I spilled a little bit. I hope you were able to hear the swallowing. It would suck if we couldn't hear that anymore either. Hi, Wozy Bear. Hello, my love. Welcome in, welcome in. It's good to see you. Hello, my love. Yeah, mommy's back. I'm doing ASMR again. Oh, you changed your username? No worries at all. Hi, Safari. Hello, my love. I mean, Wozy. I'm just gonna call you Wozy. How are you doing, darling? say thank you. I haven't done that in such a long time. I missed it. I miss being gross and telling you to say thank you. I missed it. Oh, it's my favorite joke. It's not even a joke anymore. I want you to genuinely say thank you. That's so fun. Doing a lot better now. I'm so happy, Wozy. I'm so happy. So glad I'm here. You to do ASMR again? Yeah, I'm back. I'm going to do it tomorrow too. I'm gonna do it Wednesdays and Fridays. It's just yesterday I was too tired. Hi, Abraxas. Hello, my love. Welcome in. Welcome in. But yeah, I was just way too tired last night. So it's usually on Wednesdays and Fridays, but I'm back. Oh, there shouldn't be any ads. There shouldn't be any. I disabled them. Is it seriously running ads? Did they add back ads? No way. Is it actually running ads? No. I disabled them. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Oh, I feel so bad. Ads aren't supposed to be running. Boo. I'll have to take that out of my title then. Because I turned off ads. They must have turned them back on. It used to be if you set your channel to sexual themes, it wouldn't run ads, and I was able to say no ads, but I guess they found ads for sexual themes. That sucks so badly. I'm so sorry, everyone. I can't believe it ran ads. Welcome back, Wozy Bear. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna make sure to try to, well, I'm gonna try to make sure that next stream has no ads, but I'm not gonna put it in my title just in case it happens anyway. I feel so misleading. I don't want to mislead people. You're free. Welcome back. Oh, thank you, Wozy Bear. I appreciate that, my love. Thank you. I appreciate the sentiment. I have Twitch Turbo, actually, and I highly recommend it to people, because it's kind of hard to subscribe to everyone you like. So I always tell people that, like, no hard feelings. You can 100% get Twitch Turbo. Because that's expensive. I think I'm only subscribed to 2 people right now. Because that's all I can afford. Drew, Turbo is nice. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, because all I can afford is 2 people. So I have Turbo. Um, and I've had people be like, oh, well, that's 2 people you could have subscribed to with the Turbo cost. And I'm like, okay, but I still watch like 12 people, so what do I do? Pass it around? It doesn't really help. That's fair, Wozy Bear. That's what I say. It's like I would have subscribed if I had like the money anyway, so some people are just a little mean about things. I just think Twitch Turbo is nice and I like it because it means that I can find new streamers without getting interrupted by ads. It helps me expand my repertoire. Which I really like finding new ASMR streamers, especially because I love ASMR and I watch it too much. Although these days I tend to watch Corpo ASMR more than I do indie. How have you been? I've been doing fine. Just life. I've been doing okay. I haven't had anything like horrible happen or anything like that. I've been doing okay. Been doing my best. Been living, surviving. My birthday's on Saturday. I'm really excited. I am gonna do a 24-hour stream like I always do and kick off my subathon. So that'll be fun. But that's on Saturday. Tomorrow I'm doing ASMR. More ASMR. My ASMR days are supposed to be Wednesdays and Fridays now, but I missed Wednesday this week. Ooh, Debbie birthday? Yeah, I'm almost 30. I'm getting old. I'm almost a hag. I mean, I'm a hag according to VTubers, because if you're over 25, you're a hag, but I'm definitely a hag otherwise, too. I'm gonna try to pull up for your birthday stream. Yeah, no worry, Wozy Bear. It'll not be ASMR, so if it's, like, too much, don't worry at all. But I'll be having ASMR today and tomorrow ahead of time. And I'll be having my regular ASMR streams throughout the subathon. I won't let the subathon stop it. 30 is not old. I don't think 30 is old, but people act like it is. I just turned 29 on the 4th. Happy late birthday! You're a January baby too. Heck yeah, I love my fellow January babies. We're special. Not saying that just because I'm 30. I don't think 30 is old, but people act like it is. I mean, what makes me old isn't my age. It's that I was raised by my great-grandmother, and I adopted a lot of her personality because autism. So I'm very similar to my great-grandmother in personality, and because of that, I joke that I'm old because, like, personality. But I'm not old in age. Lore-wise, you're in a hag. You're the dino hag. I hate you. Unga bunga, I have the body of an 80-year-old and I'm not in my 80s. Yeah, that's basically me. I mean, I had a heart attack at 22. So I might as well be like in my 60s to 80s, somewhere around there. And having L cup tits gives me back problems and hip problems. I've been told several times that 25 to 35 is definitely prime age. I agree, I think it is. It's the age where you can finally start doing stuff. It feels like it's the age where your life is getting together. But yeah, I'm a hag in, like, personality and, like, how I act. I'm not a hag in age. I don't think people are hags at my age. I just like to joke about it because it's funny. I think it's very hilarious. I laugh about it. I find the humor in being old lady coded. But I don't think people my age are old inherently. I've been told that I sound like I'm in my mid-30s with 2 divorces with 3 kids. I'm not that old. You do sound like that, Gold. I'm sorry. No, not much at all. If anything, I'll hang out for a bit because I have to help a friendly friend get ready to move to Pennsylvania. That'll be fun. Congrats on their move. I hope it goes well. Yeah, I'm sorry, Gold. You are kind of... You do sound divorced. You sound like a divorced man trying to get back out in there and, like, trying to get back out on the dating scene, but he doesn't really know what's going on. And he's doing his best, but he's just trying to understand the new lingo, and he might be too old to date, but he's doing his best. I won't beat the deep voice allegations, you won't. You sound divorced is crazy. He does sound divorced. He sounds like twice divorced, like... He just keeps getting divorced by women that are just trying to take all his money, but he's such a good guy, and you don't understand why he's divorced, and, like, I don't know. You're like, man, why is that guy divorced? He's so lovely. Ada, hello there. Welcome in. Okay. It's so nice to meet you. My name is Alistair, and thank you so much for the follow. I hope you enjoy your stay on the casting couch. This kiss is for you. Mwah, 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 mwah. Hi, hello, my love. Hello, Mr. Tacos. Hello. It's so nice to meet you. He'll be the right one. He'll find the right one day. Exactly. He just needs to find, like, this is a Hallmark movie, right? This is a Hallmark movie, and he's twice divorced, but he's such a nice guy, right? And he goes to a small town for business, and he meets this girl, and she's a nerdy girl, like a very bookish girl, very nerdy, and he's like, wow, this is the girl for me. And she's just struggling too. For some reason, she can't find anybody, you know? Like, she's been having trouble. She's been broken up with, like, right at the altar. It's crazy. But they're meant for each other, and it goes on for the whole movie. And at the end of the movie, she thinks he's leaving, right? She thinks he's leaving. But then he comes back at the airport, and he's like, I couldn't leave you, baby girl. And they kiss, and it's perfect. This is my fan fiction of you, Gold. I've thought too hard about this. I've lived through two divorces. They weren't mine, though. They're my dad's. Seen what they do to a person. That might be why. You know, maybe. Mwah. I love you, tragically, Lucid. Mwah. 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 It literally does sound like a Lifetime Hallmark movie. I've watched too many of those movies. When I was a kid, like I said, I was raised by my great-grandmother. And so we would watch those kinds of movies all the time. And I loved them. And they would be so dramatic. And it's like this nerdy, bookish guy struggles to get the girl. And the girl, she's been through too much. She doesn't want her heart broken again. But this guy, God, he's just too attractive. She can't say no, and they keep ending up together. They end up in situations, you know? Situations that drive them together, and they just can't figure out why it keeps happening, but they find each other drawn to each other, and they can't resist. And they end up alone together, and he steals a kiss. God, he steals a kiss, and it's the best kiss she's ever had, and she just can't get over it, and she can't stop thinking about him. But he confesses to her, and she's like, no, I can't get my heart broken again. And he's like, I understand. And he goes to leave, right? And she's like, wait, I can't be away from you. I changed my mind. And he's like, oh, Melissa, because her name is some white-ass name, because this is for white people. Let's be clear here. This is for white people. And he's like, oh, Melissa. And they kiss, and that's the end of the movie, and they're together forever. That's too good of a description. My mom watches them all the time, and not gonna lie, they do have a good amount of them that are pretty good. She's convinced me of that. They do. I've watched too many of these. I swear it's what made me such a, like, hopeless romantic. And then pulls his horse cock. Well, if we go into the erotic fiction side of women's media, then yes, he pulls out his horse cock. Cause God, I don't know what is up with erotic media. I don't know what is up with erotic media, but they always give these guys these massive long schmeaters. These humongous cocks. They're like, oh, he's a CEO, and he's wealthy, and he's mysterious, and he's never been with a woman, but he's perfect at technique. And he would never give you wrong. He would give you the best oral ever. And he makes you squirt. And his cock is 9 inches long. And he's ripped, and he's tan, tall, dark, and handsome.
And he's only in love with you. And he's never been with another woman. And it's only for you. And he's never been interested. Only for you. That turned up a left turn so goddamn fast. You don't like a humongous? No, I don't. We've had this talk. What's wrong with a non-humongous cock nowadays? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's okay to have a normal one. Because men are obsessed with having a huge cock. Yeah, and women are obsessed with huge cock even though they've never experienced it. Like, hi, hello, my name is Alistair. I've experienced huge cock. It was absolutely miserable. It was not good. I literally cried. It was uncomfortable. It was extremely painful. Like, I cannot stress enough. Do you know how much of the vagina is, like, there? Do you know how much is there? Yeah, it is a skill issue. I don't have a deep dish pussy, okay? But listen, do you know how much is there? There's about 4 inches. 3 or 4 inches. That's all you need. That's all you need. That's all you fucking need. Anything else is, you know, it might be nice, it might not be. It depends on the woman. I don't know why everything has to be over large. It's okay to be normal size. That's what I'm saying. It's okay to be normal size. And yet, no matter how many times men hear this, we still want a huge cock. Shit is baked into our psyche. I know. I don't get it. That is the quote right there. It hurt. It hurt. Like, I have an off-brand horse cock dildo and I couldn't get it in. It hurt. That's why the ones I have on my throne are all small. I can't take a big dick. My pussy is small. It's fat and small. Leave it alone. Don't make fun of me. I'll fucking cry. But yeah, I have Bad Dragon toys on my throne because I've always wanted name brand ones. And I have Bad Dragon toys on my throne, and they're all small size because it's... Did you get a call today? No? I didn't. I did not. No, I'm happy with me. I just want to make my partner happy. Yeah, exactly. Like, I just want them to... You wouldn't have to worry about that if you were my girl. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it because it hurts. I am not a small woman either. I'm 6 feet tall, but something about my fucking... I don't know. My vagina is small is a first for me. It is. It's small. I don't know. I've tried. I have an off-brand dog cock too, and it's also, the knot's too big. I was gonna use it for a Fansly video, but I haven't been able to really get it in. I don't know. It doesn't get used. I don't really use it. I don't know. I might as well be a virgin again with how tight it is. It's not really worth it. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about disappointment with my small pussy. I'm gonna go back to mouth sounds. This is cringe. Girl, I know. I know. Hi, mommy. Hi, chaos. Hello, my love. Welcome in. These are those late night deep conversations that happen. Blushes in 5-6. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is what happens when I'm drunk. I'm not even drunk, but this is the kind of shit I would talk about. I'd just be crying and apologizing for my small pussy. It's not even good. A fun-sized vagina sounds funny as fuck. Well, here's the thing. It's not pleasurable. Like, people are like, oh, yeah, I want it tight. And it's like, no, you don't. You actually don't want it super tight because it's very uncomfortable when it's super tight. Like, it's not good when it's super tight. It's very uncomfortable. So, I'm just saying, it's not a good thing. Oh, I don't have any bait. Exists in 5-3. I am 6 feet tall. And my back is not doing great. My back is not doing great. When they say my neck, my back, my pussy, and my crack, it means that everything is falling apart. It's not a sexy song. It was actually about a woman's agony. Everything is falling apart. You know, media and social media lied to me, claiming women are all over men who are taller than 6 foot. That's some BS. I want a refund. It's true. They're really not. I actually forget how tall I am sometimes. I don't forget because I have to constantly prove how tall I am because my spine is curved. So I'm a bit taller, or I'm taller than I look. And I have to, like, slam myself against the wall to prove to people how tall I am. At the doctor's office, when I got diagnosed with PCOS, they were like, how tall are you? And I'm like, 5'11 and 3/4, because that's actually what I am, not 6 feet. But I said 5'11 and 3/4. And they're like, no, you're not. And I'm like, yes, I am. Measure me right now. And they straightened my back and put me against the wall. And she was like, huh, well, I'll be. And I was like, yeah, I wasn't lying. I want my future significant other to give me uppies. Well, I'm not your future significant other, but I can give you uppies if you'd like. I'm tall and strong enough. I could do it. I could do it if you believe in me hard enough. You just gotta believe. Me next, please. Line up. I'm gonna go to Off-Kai someday, and you guys are gonna have to all come, and you'll meet me, and I'll give everyone uppies in a line. There's just gonna be a line of people wanting uppies. Men, women alike. Everybody wants uppies. People who aren't even my fans would join in because they want uppies, and I'd be like, okay, this is fine. When I was joining the army, they told me I have a slight scoliosis. That slight has turned into a goddamn S for severe. Yeah. Me next, me next. See, this is what I mean. I'm going to have a line. I'll give you all uppies. Come here. How hard is it to find a goth muscle mommy? Well, I'm not a muscle mommy, but I am a goth mommy. I want to be a muscle mommy. I'm trying to work out, but it's a little harder than it looks. And I can't afford a gym membership. Very hard. Very hard. Yeah, the muscle part is what you're struggling with. Because a lot of the muscular women that I meet are very, like, cute. Like, they wear, like, very cute feminine clothing. They're not goth. So the goth part is what you're struggling with the muscle part. Those things tend to not really line up. Like, I'm going to be so real with you. A lot of goth women are fat like me. So it's kind of hard to find it. Goth women are either fat or they have big tits, and there's no in between. I have both. I'm fat and I have big tits. I don't know. Apparently I'm not allowed to call myself fat anymore. I only weigh 169 and I'm 6 feet tall, so apparently that's not fat and I'm not allowed to call myself fat anymore. But I'm trying to lose this loose skin, so I still think I'm fat. But that might be body dysmorphia, honestly. Who knows? I have big tits still, though. My tits are still an L cup. No talking bad about yourself. No! Just say it with a PH. Fat. Fat. I mean, I do have a big ass. On my Twitter, there's a photo of me naked in the Family Guy death pose with my ass out. You can see how big my ass is. I wish I could, like, it's a question. If you happen to want to lose the weight do you think your tits would shrink? No, they wouldn't. I actually lost the weight I wanted to lose. I used to weigh 290 and I'm down to 169. Nice. And my tits are still an L cup. I just went down in band size. So instead of being a 40L, I'm a 36L. But my boobs haven't gotten any smaller. My ass is also still very large. So no, they wouldn't. I haven't lost any weight in my tits. Some people do, but I haven't, and it's agony. Girl, how low is your Riz game since you have to slam yourself to the wall? Pretty bad. Oh, nice. No, you're okay. You're okay, Woozy Bear. Don't worry. Good for you. Weight loss is tough. It is tough. It is very tough. But don't worry, Woozy Bear. You didn't, like, offend me or anything. I was just saying that the tits didn't go away at all. They did not go away. I will hold both thigh, booty, and titties. Hell yeah. Hold him for me. Can I be slammed into the wall? Yeah, I can slam you into the wall. Sure. Abraxas is just making a joke that I don't get bitches because I have to slam myself into the wall. Abraxas is my local bully. She's my mod, but she bullies me all the time. She's my local bully. But yeah, boobs didn't get smaller at all. It's actually really funny. My tummy used to be bigger than my boobs. And now it's way smaller, and I have a huge tent anytime I wear shirts. It's really funny. I am the local crackhead. You're the local divorced man. What do you mean? Divorced men don't do crack. Yes, they do. Divorced men do crack a lot. Oh no, don't slam me into a wall. Oh no. I'll slam you into a wall, baby boy. Don't worry. I could cicada block you. Would that be sexy if I put my whole legs and my arms onto the wall? I'm the local chaotic lobster. We love lobsters. I'm sorry about my cat. He went into my room. But would it be sexy if I cicada blocked you? Like put both my arms and my legs on the wall? Absolutely. Hell yeah. I could do it. I could do it. The local chaos lobster. Hell yeah. Chaos lobster. Rock lobster. Sorry. I've seen your tits and ass pics before. Not gonna lie, they're very, very nice. Thank you. I'm happy you think so. I want to say I worked hard on them, but I didn't. I don't know what that noise was. I hope that I can lose the loose skin, though, because I do have loose skin on my body, and it's very icky to me. But yeah, I'm happy you think so. I posted my tummy on my Twitter recently. That just reminded me of local Boulder kills fucking God, face tanked everything. What? Local Boulder kills fucking God. I mean, with Japanese RPGs, anyone could kill God at this point. I could kill God. My disabled ass could kill God. I don't even know how to do math. I could kill God. That's so out of context. I've been brainstorming things lately. I'm really excited for one. Nice! That's so funny, though, to say I could kill God and then fucking licking sounds. I love JRPGs, too. I could yap about them all day. Hell yeah, I would love to listen to you. I need to have VCs in my server that are not in the middle of the night so that people will actually join and I can have people to talk to, because I get very lonely. The stream is just funny. I'm happy I'm funny. You would not be able to shut me up? Hell yeah, I love yappers. You did say how. You didn't say how just so you could kill him. Yeah, I don't need to say how. He knows what he did. He knows my power. I love Persona. I beat Persona 5, but I don't remember it much. I want to play as Persona 5 Royal on stream. think the noises upstairs are my cats playing. I think my cats are being loud. They're having a Beyblade tournament. Honestly, they probably would. I like to make a joke that me and Jack's cats are brother boyfriends because they were supposed to be brothers, but they ended up very bonded. And so we joke that they're brother boyfriends. I was just going to ask for Slurpees, but that's out the window, obviously, because I didn't even have to ask. Yeah. Can do other things, some things, but one of the things we found out I can't do is heartbeats, unfortunately. My mic doesn't pick them up. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, we like to make jokes. We like to make jokes that they're toxic age gap incest yaoi. Because it's funny. I feel like people on Twitter would have a meltdown about that. Ada, hello there. Welcome in, welcome in. Okay, it's so nice to meet you. My name is Alistair, and thank you so much for the follow. I hope you enjoy your stay on the casting couch. This kiss is for you. Hi, hello, welcome in, welcome in. It's nice to meet you. Hello, hello. How are you doing, darling? Have a good lurk, Chaos. Thank you for being here. Have good lurkies. It makes me so out of breath, but I like doing it. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. Let me do that. Oh, that was good. Thank you for the head pats, my love. Pat, 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 pat. I give you head pats back. Good boy, Woozy Bear. Such a good boy for Mommy. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much for coming back to see Mommy. Such a good boy. So obedient. Coming running back to Mommy, aren't you? Such a good boy. Such a very good boy. A very obedient, good little boy. My good boy, Woozy Bear. Thank you. Good boy. You're such a good boy. I love you, Woozy Bear. Yum, 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 yum. Just came running right back. You did. You're so cute, Woozy Bear. I'm so happy you're here. It's so good to see you. Ah, yes, Mochi gone but not forgotten. Little rat. Yeah, I love that one. So good to see and hear you too. I'm so happy, Woozy Bear. I'm genuinely so happy. Anytime you guys come back, it makes me so happy. I always miss you guys so much. So whenever you guys do come back, I'm always like, yay! I like get really giddy. I know you guys probably don't think that you matter to me, but you really do. Like, all of you matter to me, and I know all of your names, and I care about all of you, and you all mean so much to me. When you're a small streamer, it allows you to be close to everyone, so it's really nice. I miss you more? No way, baby boy. I miss you more. I'm always sad when you guys can't come to my streams because I miss talking to you guys. But I understand life happens, and I understand when people are here for something specific. Like, I know some of my viewers don't really like horror games, and they don't really want to come when I play a horror game, and I get that completely. So I understand exactly why I watch the small streamers. Yeah. I get it. We can get close to you and love on you, and you can be special to us because we're small. We're little guys. You're gonna make me be here all the time? I hope I do. I want you to be here all the time. I'm clingy. I want to see you guys all the time. You think you don't matter to me, but you do. Like, I know. That's parasocial. You're parasocial. But when you're a small streamer, it's like you guys are my friends. Adore me, Mommy? I do adore you, Lucid. I'm so happy you found me today. It's so nice that you're here. I'm so happy. I'll remember you too. Every day. Like, when you're a small streamer, it's less parasocial because it's like you guys are my friends. Like, you guys know so much about me, and you get to hear about me, and I get to hear about you too, and I know things about you guys. So it's more like we're friends, or at least I think so. I feel really loved by you guys, and it makes me really happy. I like being a small streamer. Sometimes I'm sad for being a small streamer, because it's like, I want to do things that only big streamers can do. Not like money stuff, but like holding events and stuff like that. And I wish I could do stuff like that, but it's okay. I'm never like... I like being a small streamer. I come here for the engagement? Yeah, that makes sense. I also watch a lot of VODs. Fuck being called parasocial. I enjoy being and having good company. Yeah, exactly. And I hope I can be good company for you guys, because I love you guys. Just keep at it. It's a real grind. Oh, yeah, it is. I hope that someday I can get bigger so that I can have more events and stuff, because that's all I really want. I still want to be able to connect with my chat, though, so I'd probably put chat on slow mode if I ever needed to. I don't ever project myself being big enough to where I can't see chat. That would be crazy. I don't think I would ever be that big, but I just like doing ASMR because it means I get to be closer to you guys. I like it. You made me not be nervous to talk in chat? Yeah, I'm so happy. That means so much to me. I want to be someone that can help people feel safe and comfortable. Because, like, I'm the least judgmental person on the planet. I literally love you guys. You guys can be weird as hell, and I still like you. I'm weird. I'm super weird. You guys can't see my mouth tracking. I'm super weird. I'm super fucking weird. But I love you guys, and you guys love me, so it's okay that I'm weird. It's fine. Because I am really weird. I'm a very weird woman. But you guys are really nice to me, and it makes me happy. I love you guys so much, and it means a lot to me that even when you guys get girlfriends, you won't leave me. Because I don't want to ever come in between you and your relationship. I don't want to be like the other woman. But it makes me happy when you guys are able to explain to your girlfriend, like, this is my favorite streamer, or this is one of my favorite streamers. Her name is Alistair. She's a really silly girl. It makes me happy. Because I don't want you guys to leave me because you get a girlfriend. It's not that I'm trying to be your girlfriend or anything like that. It's just, I want you to have a partner. I root for you guys to get girlfriends. But I also want you to still like me and still be there for me because I love you. I don't think there's a such thing as normal. Definitely not. I'm a super silly and weird, and that's why the women love me. Hell yeah, absolutely. I agree, baby boy. We love weird little freaks. They're the best. Or I do, at least. But yeah, I hope that you guys will be able to find the things that make you happy, whether that's a girlfriend or a new job or a new apartment or a new house or things like that. I always hope you guys will find the things that make you happy. I just hope you won't leave me when you get happy, because I want you to tell me about it, and I want to be happy together. I want us to be happy together. And I'm not going to leave you guys. I'm trying to get a job, but I'm not going to leave. It'll be full-time work, but that's okay. I'll find days to stream anyway. I want to still be here. I want to share my happy with you guys. I don't ever want to quit streaming. I like streaming. It makes me happy. And you guys make me happy. And I love you guys. And I want to be together forever. I know that's probably stupid saying that you want to be a streamer forever, but... You're so sweet, it's adorable! No! No, I'm not cute. I'm not cute. But thank you. Thank you, Yoshi, for the hearts. I love you too. But yeah, I just, I want us to be happy together. I get you. I'll always watch you regardless of where you go. Yeah, that makes me happy. All the fun while being here. Yeah! I hope so. I hope so. I want to be someone that's good for you guys. That's what I like about the internet, is that if we didn't have the internet, I wouldn't be able to connect with all of you. And you all make me really happy. And I love you. And, we're getting towards the end of stream, but I'll be streaming ASMR again tomorrow. We have about 15 minutes left together. You're cute, you're gonna like it. No, I'm not cute. I'm a big, scary woman. I'm not cute. I'm big and scary. I get told a lot that I'm cute, and it's very jarring because growing up I was never cute. Like, growing up I was sexy, I was pretty, but I was never cute. So it's very jarring to hear it now, but it makes me happy. You're adorable. No! I get a little flustered, but thank you. I'm happy you think so. It makes me happy. I appreciate it. I'm not used to hearing it. You can be both? Ah, thank you. I'm happy that I can be both. Because, yeah, I never got to hear it growing up. I got told I was a big bitch. Which, like, yeah, I was a big bitch. I was definitely a big bitch. I'm really tall, and I have broad shoulders, and I'm thick. I'm thick as hell. I got a big butt, and I've got big boobs. So I don't blame people for saying that I'm a big bitch, but I think a big bitch can be cute. I think a big bitch can be cute, you know? I think so. I think it's Gap Moe. Like, for all the weebs in here, if you know what Gap Moe is, I think that it's Gap Moe. Where, like, a really big woman is, like, really cute and adorable. I think it's Gap Moe. I'm sorry if I'm speaking gibberish to those of you who do not watch anime. But I hope you understand. I come from a family of titans. Tall women look normal to me. Oh, that's so good. I love big, tall families. My family wasn't very tall. Every generation has progressively gotten taller. It's every generation has progressively gotten taller. Like, my great-grandma, she was my best friend. She was only, like, 5'2". And then my grandmother is about 5'5" or 5'6". And then my mother is about 5'9". And then there's me, and I'm 5'11" and 3/4 or 6 feet, if you want to mince it. My cousin is 6'7", not memeing. Yeah, I knew someone who was 6'7". He moved to California, but I still know him. I'm used to big people, yeah. My brother is tall, and I like to consider myself tall. I didn't consider myself tall until people kept telling me I was. Because, like, I don't think I'm that tall, but then again, my back is messed up, so it kind of makes me shorter. My boobadoobles, my bahonkadonkas are, my bahonkadonkas are 36Ls. And, yeah, my spine is a little curved. He renovated his doorways so he didn't have to duck. That's what I would do. I don't know what an L is. Huge. If you look it up, it's huge. My grandpa was 6'6". My dad is 6'3". My mom is 5'9". My grandma was 5'8". My uncle was 6'2", and I'm 6'4". Yeah, that sounds about right. I am broke now in my game. But yeah, my dad was about 6'4", I want to say. He was pretty tall. I mean, I'm saying that like he's dead. He's pretty tall. I feel like every year they just add a new letter of boobs. Are there in boobs? Yes, there are in boobs. There's in cups. Where does it stop? Well, where do the titties stop? As long as the tits in those sizes exist, the bra is gonna exist. My dad and my older brothers are taller than me, but I'm taller than my 2 sisters. Gotcha. I didn't know you were the youngest. I don't have any siblings. Here I thought G was the max. No. Are there double Zs? I don't know. I don't know how far bras go. Earlier, one of our chatters, community members, love him to death, Maximus, he actually messaged me on Discord earlier, sending me a company that sells bras in my size, which I was super surprised about because my bras don't really exist. And, they actually come in my size and they go to in cups. And I was like, God, I didn't know. How big do boobs get? What's after Z? Do they go into kanji? I don't know. I don't think we go as far as Z. That company stops at in. So that might be the maximum. I don't know. Big ass binocular tits. Yeah, I don't know. Z would be impossible? I assume so. But then there are people who get like breast and expansion that are like, they get like boob jobs that are like humongous. Like, I remember seeing this woman on the internet back when they used to have like people addicted to plastic surgery on TV. Her name was like Martina Big, and her boobs were like humongous. And I don't even know what size bra she was. Like, I mean, humongous. I don't think mine are that big, but that's because I'm a very large woman. So mine look proportionate to my body. I've seen L cups on smaller women, and they look humongous. But mine look proportionate to my body. They're still big. Like, I still have big boobs, but they look proportionate to my body. They don't look, like, obscene. Like, there's this one cosplayer, her boobs look humongous, and they look bigger than mine, but they're actually smaller than mine, because on her body they look bigger. I think she's, like, an I cup. So hers are technically smaller than mine. Her username is Bishojo Mom. Her boobs are technically smaller than mine, but mine just look proportionate to my body. So even though I'm an L cup, they just don't look that big. I've gotten measured multiple times. I measure myself too. My boobs are really fucking big. Love her cosplays? Yeah, she does a good job. I've always wanted to cosplay because of her. But yeah, hers are an I cup, I think, and I know she's technically smaller than mine, but they look so much bigger because of her proportions. I've heard she's pretty short. Not gonna lie, I might have realized I have a big schlong from this logic. Yeah. Your schlong size is very dependent on, like, a lot of it being your proportions. You can't measure based on your hand. Because, like, I've met really big men, like really tall men that are, like, really tall, like 6'7". And one of those men was 6'7", and he had big hands, and he could not get his hand around my boob. That's how big my boobs are. You cannot get your whole hand around my boob. I can't even get my hand around half my boob. My boobs are huge. But on me, they look proportionate because I'm a big woman. I'm 6 feet tall. So they're not gonna look like humongous on me because I'm big. So when it comes to, like, your dick size or your ball size, it's gonna be dependent on your body, isn't it? Watch me try. You can try. You can try. I mean, you're welcome to, but no one's been able to get their hand entirely around my boob. You can still grab them. I don't mind. You can have some. You can have. You can has. I can has. You can has. Okay, kitty. You can has cheeseburger. All my life, it just looked normal, but not gonna lie, this logic may have opened my eyes tremendously. Yeah. I'm telling you. Yeah, I feel like mine looks smaller because I'm so tall, but average. Yeah. Your pee-pee is gonna look smaller to you. I cannot stress enough, I think I have small boobs. I have such severe body dysmorphia that I think I have small boobs. My brain says that I have small boobs. But I am literally an L cup. I am literally an L cup. I am humongous. My tits are gigantic. But my brain says that they're small. I have literally looked at women with breasts smaller than mine and thought, man, I wish my boobs were as big as hers. That's stupid. That's stupid. I'm stupid. I'm an idiot. But yeah, my boobs are huge. Ignore that. We're not going to do the ad. But yeah, my boobs are huge. So you might have bigger pee-pee than you realize. You might have bigger pee-pee. Hell, even if you're short, you might have bigger pee-pee than you realize. Yes, it's stupid. All boobs are beautiful. You're right. All boobs are beautiful. All boobs are beautiful. Guys, we might have big cocks. The Queen Alistair has opened our eyes. See, this is why you need me. This is why you need me. This is why you can't leave me. I open your eyes to things. I'm a genius. You have to believe me. I'm smart. But yeah, it's about proportions. Well, I mean, I've always had a decent size. Yoshi out here dabbing on us. I wish I had a bigger dick. I wish I had a dick at all. I want a penis. Why don't I have a penis? I want a penis. I want a dick. Me being like, hey guys, this is a stretch goal of the subathon. If you guys spend this much money and get me a prosthetic penis, I will wear it on stream. Damn, she's penisless. No! I've always been insecure about mine, but sometimes whenever I hear I wear sweatpants, I'm like, damn. Hell yeah. Can I borrow yours, please? I'm so serious. If we make it that far, like if you guys are crazy and we actually make it through our sub goals and stuff and we get to stretch goals, if we get there, I will literally make one of the stretch goals you guys buying me a penis so I can wear it. Because, like, listen to me, they make prosthetic penises that are, like, skin tone matched to you and are, like, bendable and you can use them for sex. And they have, like, floating balls and they're, like, human and squishy. And, like, listen to me, they're, like, $600 and they're matched to your skin tone and everything. And yes, I've looked into this too much. And I could be the Fuda of my dreams. Listen to me, guys. I've had the same thought about the vag. Like, I sat and wondered what it's like having one. It's fine. I wouldn't want to get rid of mine. I like having it. Never thought mine was small, but it always looks small to me, you know? Yeah, I get that. Just promise we get to sword fight if we do. Absolutely. Absolutely. The first stretch goal will be you guys getting me a penis. The second stretch goal will be you guys, I'll raffle off who gets to sword fight with me. You got a deal. Hell yeah, Wozy Bear. You say that, but you gotta see the sub goals. They're on my Twitter. You gotta see them before you agree to that, because they're kind of high. Life is expensive, and I have to buy expensive things for the subathon. On guard. But yeah, you guys gotta get me to the goal of having a penis, and if we get to that goal, the stretch goal, we'll make it a stretch goal. If we get to that goal, you guys I'll raffle off who gets to sword fight with me. It's like, instead of, like, fucking a fan, it's sword fighting with a fan. My first katana anime fight, hell yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna end stream. We made it to our 2-hour mark. This is my Discord. You'll have to join if you want to talk to me, because I love you and you should join my Discord, and I love you 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 and I love you. Anyway, here are my socials. Check out my Twitter to know the sub goals for the subathon on Saturday. If anything, if you guys could help me get to the shock collar, that would be great. That would be fantastic. If we could just get to the shock collar, I would consider that a win. The shock collar would be great. Imagine an ASMR stream with a shock collar. That would be funny. If you want to wear Alistair merch and look sexy as hell, that's my merch. Also, there's a special merch on there if you check it out. A secret one. You should look. Just trust me. I love you guys so much. I will be back tomorrow with more ASMR. I have a clicker. I'll do it for you before you leave. I have a clicker. Listen to me. Sit. Good boy. Roll over. Good boy. Good boy. Thank you, Maximus. No, it's okay. You're allowed to lurk. You were here when I was talking about boob size then. You were here when I was talking about the bras you sent me. I appreciate it. I'm going to buy some when I have monies, because I need normal bras that aren't sexy and make my boobs fall out. But yes, tomorrow we'll have more ASMR. We'll have more ASMR at 8 p.m. CST. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I love you all so much. You're in love? You should be. I'll do more dog clicker for you tomorrow if you want, Woozy Bear. But you got to show up. All right, I love you guys. Goodbye. Mwah. Goodbye. Yes, you can get a good night kiss. I just saw that. Mwah. Good night.